My sister didn't ruin my wedding by accident. She buried it on purpose, and Thanksgiving night was the first time I stopped burying the truth with her. Growing up in my family was like living in a house built entirely around reflections, mirrors polished only when Lily walked past them. Everything my parents did, every photo they framed, every story they told at parties, circled back to her like she was the sun and the rest of us were faint stars that didn't deserve to shine unless she needed extra light. I wasn't angry as a child, I just adapted. I learned early that in a home full of expectations, silence was the only space they left for me. But things changed when I moved to Seattle. 3 hours away, yet it felt like 3 lifetimes. My apartment was small, but the windows were wide, and for the first time, I breathed without someone monitoring how loud or how softly I existed. Ethan entered my life like quiet sunlight, warm, steady, the kind that stayed. He paid attention. He cared about what I said and even the things I was too afraid to say. His parents were the same. Helen hugged me like she meant it. Robert remembered my research projects like they were award-winning discoveries. They weren't perfect, but they were present, and in my world, presence was a luxury. So, when Ethan proposed by the water on a foggy June morning, I didn't think twice. We planned a small wedding. Simple. Real. I printed the invitations myself, triple-checking every detail. I paid extra for signature-required delivery because I knew my family's habit of losing things that didn't feature Lily. Every package said delivered. Every signature said received. And then, nothing. No call, no text, no, "Congrats, Kat." Not even a confused message like, "What wedding?" The silence hurt more than I expected. It felt intentional, like someone pressed mute on my entire life and refused to turn the volume back up. Ethan noticed the ache I tried to hide. "Let's check the logs," he said carefully. Not pushing, just offering. The tracking receipts told the truth immediately. 4 signatures, all in the same handwriting. Lily's. Then the family email logs told the rest. The invitation email I sent, opened, deleted, erased, all from Lily's device. It wasn't jealousy. It wasn't an accident. It was control. Surgical, deliberate, familiar. I stared at those logs until the screen blurred. It wasn't just my wedding she buried. It was me. I almost skipped Thanksgiving that year, almost let them keep rewriting me out of the story. But silence is what created the rot in the first place. So I walked into that perfect dining room with one simple intention. I wasn't leaving until the truth finally had a witness. I didn't go for revenge, but revenge came anyway. Thanksgiving at my parents' house always looked like a magazine spread. White tablecloth, perfect place settings, candles flickering, and curated symmetry. Everything staged, everything polished, everything pretending to be whole. The only thing out of place that night was me, and the truth I carried in my bag. Lily stood by the fireplace, posing like the house existed just to frame her. Her husband fussed with her hair like adjusting a prop on a stage. My mother narrated every detail of Lily's extravagant September wedding to anyone within 6 feet of her. My father poured wine like a man hiding in routine. Not one person asked about my life. Not one acknowledged the wedding they all missed. It felt like a ritual, one where I was a ghost expected to sit quietly and not disturb the living. Dinner began with praise for Lily. Her dress, her cake, her venue, her connections, her everything. Every sentence felt like a reminder. We showed up for her, we always show up for her. And then came the moment, the spark that hit the gas-soaked floor. My mother tapped her glass with a smile too bright to be sincere. Sister's wedding was great, she said loudly, admiring Lily as if she were made of glass. So, Kat, when's yours? Some people laughed. My father kept carving turkey like it was surgery. Lily did not look up. For years, I would have swallowed the pain. I would have protected the illusion. Not this time. I set my fork down softly, so softly the sound still sliced through the room. I already had my wedding, I said, voice steady, 6 months ago. The silence that followed wasn't silence. It was a collapse. My father blinked rapidly. My mother's face cracked. Lily went still. Too still. We never got any invitations, my father whispered, like reading from an old script. I nodded slowly. I figured you'd say that. I reached into my bag. My phone lit the table like a blade. I placed it right between the candle and the cranberry sauce, the truth finally taking its seat. Let me show you something. The storm didn't begin with shouting. It began with proof. And once I put that evidence on the table, there was no going back. When my thumb tapped the screen, the room didn't just go silent. It stilled, like the air itself was holding its breath. 4 deliveries, 4 packages, 4 signatures. I zoomed in on the first one and slowly turned the screen so everyone could see. There it was. Lily's signature. Bold, practiced, confident. The same looping L she perfected in 8th grade when she decided her handwriting should look celebrity level. My mother gasped, one hand flying to her mouth. My father leaned forward, squinting like the truth only counted if he could see it close enough. Lily's husband, Ryan, stiffened, eyes darting between the screen and his wife. Lily? Lily didn't move. Her face didn't crack, didn't twitch, didn't even breathe differently. But the stillness was a confession in itself. These were delivered on April 23rd, I said calmly. All 4 invitations signed for by Lily. My mother shook her head hard, like she could shake reality loose. No, that's not. Lily would never do something like that. I let out a small, tired exhale. You say what Lily wouldn't do, but you never look at what she did. Something in my mother's face froze, like she had been slapped with logic for the first time in decades. My father swallowed. Lily, did you sign for these? Lily blinked for the first time. It was mechanical, like hitting the reset button after a system crash. I don't remember. I grab the mail sometimes. Maybe I didn't see anything inside. That was her lie? That lame? That small? I stayed quiet. I didn't need to accuse her. The evidence was doing all the work. My father leaned closer. You didn't notice 4 wedding invitation envelopes from your sister around the same time you knew she was engaged? It's not my job to track everyone's mail, Lily snapped suddenly. There it was, the first crack. Sharp, defensive, ugly. My mother reached for her arm. Sweetheart, just calm down. No, I said, stopping her. My voice soft, but firm. Let her talk. She's been talking over me her entire life. Lily glared at me. What's that supposed to mean? Instead of answering, I swiped to the next piece of evidence, the email log. This, I said quietly, is the activity log for the family email account. The wedding announcement I sent was shown on the screen, opened, then deleted immediately. From this house, from Lily's device. My father's eyes widened. My mother froze completely. Lily's mouth dropped open. I didn't delete anything. Maybe I clicked it by accident. Why are you attacking me? I'm not attacking you. I'm showing you facts. Then the room shifted again, like the truth had finally pulled a chair up next to me. My mother's voice rose, shrill with denial. But why would Lily sabotage your wedding? Why would she hide your invitations? This is absurd. I looked right at her. Because my wedding was in June and hers was in September. Lily inhaled sharply, too sharply. She didn't want anyone talking about mine before hers. My words landed like a stone dropped in still water, ripples of shock spreading through the table. "That's insane," Lily hissed. "You always twist things to make me look bad." "No," I cut in. "You did that yourself." Ryan stood abruptly. "Lily, is this true?" Lily looked at him with desperation I'd never seen in her eyes. "You don't get it. Everyone always thinks Kat is innocent. She never needs anything. She just exists and makes people feel—" She stopped. "Feel what?" I asked quietly. Lily shot to her feet, tears brimming. "Feel guilty, feel small, feel like she doesn't even have to try." Ah, there it was. Not just the truth about the invitations, but the truth about her resentment simmering for years. My father stared at her like seeing his daughter for the first time without her carefully crafted halo. My mother looked shattered, unable to protect the facade any longer. And Lily? She wasn't finished falling yet. She had just exposed the motive behind her cruelty, but the real collapse was still ahead. This was only the beginning of her unraveling. For a moment, nobody moved. Not my father, not my mother, not even Lily, whose confession still hung over the table like smoke from a fire she didn't mean to start, but definitely set. Her words echoed in the silence. She just exists and makes people feel guilty, feel small, feel like she doesn't even have to try. The kind of sentence you can't take back. The kind that exposes more than it defends. My father sank into his chair slowly, staring at Lily with an expression I had never seen on his face, something between disappointment and disbelief. Ryan sat back down too, but not beside her wife. He angled away from her, rubbing his temples like he was trying to fit this new version of her into the woman he'd married. My mother finally broke the stillness. "Lily," she whispered, shaking her head. "How could you say that? About your sister, of all people." Lily wiped her face angrily. "Because it's true." "No," I said gently. "It's convenient." Her eyes snapped to me, red and frantic. "You think I wanted to do this? You think I wanted to hide your wedding? I had to carry the weight in this family. You were always the quiet one, the easy one, the one who didn't need anything. So they leaned on me. I didn't get to just disappear to Seattle and pretend life was simple." I blinked slowly. There it was, her resentment dressed as a confession. "You intercepted my wedding invitations because you wanted the attention." "You never wanted it," Lily shot back. "You always acted like you were above all that, above us." I shook my head. I never acted above anything. I just stopped trying to earn love I was never going to get. My mother sucked in a breath like I'd stabbed her. "Don't say that," she warned. "Why?" I asked. "Because it's the one truth you don't want to hear?" Dad finally spoke, voice rough. "We should have checked, should have asked, should have noticed." He looked devastated, quiet, older. "You didn't miss my wedding," I said softly. "You all chose not to see it." My mother bristled. "We didn't choose anything. We trusted your sister." I raised an eyebrow. "You trusted her to control the narrative, and she did exactly that." Lily's breath grew unsteady. "I didn't mean to ruin your life, Kat." "You didn't ruin my life," I replied. You just showed me where I actually stand in yours." Something inside Lily cracked then, not loudly, but visibly. Her shoulders folded inward like she was collapsing under the weight of her own decisions. "I'm sorry," she whispered, barely audible. But the room didn't soften, because it wasn't just about apologies. It was about years, patterns, a structure designed around one girl and the cost paid by the other. Ryan spoke suddenly. "Lily, did you really sabotage her wedding because you wanted yours to be the biggest?" "I didn't—" Lily started, then stopped. Her voice broke. "I just wanted them to be proud of me, for once. I didn't want to share anything." And there it was, the truth that burned hotter than any accusation. She didn't hide my invitations because she hated me. She did it because she was terrified of not being the center. Dad pushed his chair back, the sound slicing through the tension. "Lily," he said quietly, "you owe your sister more than an apology. You owe her her place in this family." But I shook my head. "No," I said. "I'm done fighting for a place. You all can keep the table." My mother stood up, panic in her eyes. "No, Kat, you can't just walk out." I met her gaze. "I can, and I will, because I finally understand something." The room held its breath again. I was never the one who needed fixing. Lily collapsed in her chair, crying silently. Ryan stared at her with a new, frightened understanding. My parents looked like their entire family structure had just been sawed in half. And maybe it had. Because for the first time ever, the truth didn't orbit around Lily. It finally landed on me. And it was only going to hit harder from here. I used to think revenge meant breaking someone the way they broke you. But I learned something darker. Sometimes the real revenge is letting them watch you heal without them. Watching your absence destroy everything they took for granted. The day came quietly. No storms, no fights, no screaming. Just a calm I hadn't felt in years. I woke up and didn't check my phone for his messages. I didn't wait for his calls. I didn't replay his lies in my head. For the first time, I didn't feel owned. But he felt it. Oh, he felt it so deeply that it shook him. At around noon, he showed up outside my university gate, hair messed, eyes desperate, breath sharp like he'd been running. He called my name like it belonged to him. It didn't anymore. He grabbed my arm, softer than ever before, like he finally realized I wasn't something he could yank around. "Talk to me, please," he begged. And it actually made me laugh. A small, humorless laugh, the kind you let out when the pain has finally turned into something colder. "You used me," I said quietly. "Every time I trusted you, you used me." He shut his eyes like the words punched him. I know I messed up. I was stupid. I was scared. I didn't want to lose you, but I didn't want to stop my freedom either. But I swear, I love you." You know what the worst part was? A small piece of me still searched his face for honesty, still hoped for truth. But there was none, just the same empty promises wrapped in the same desperate tone. "I don't want your love," I said. "I want my life back." He froze. Those words, they cut deeper than any slap. Then I stepped back. For the first time, I was the one walking away. He followed, voice cracking, begging louder, attracting the attention of everyone around. He was falling apart. I was finally standing straight. He said all the things I used to beg to hear. He cried the tears I had shed alone. He reached out the way I had once reached for him. But I kept walking. Every step felt like a piece of me stitching itself back together. Halfway down the road, I stopped and turned around, not because I wanted him, but because I wanted him to see the final blow. "You didn't lose me today," I said quietly. "You lost me the day you decided I was someone you could use." His expression shattered. And that was it. No dramatic goodbye, no final fight, just truth, and the truth destroyed him more than my tears ever could. I left him standing there, broken and stunned, surrounded by a crowd whispering his name. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel broken. I didn't feel empty. I didn't feel his. I felt me. And nothing was more powerful than that.